Welcome to Rauta's Reviews. This time we have a peculiar band from United States with a peculiar name, Immortal Bird. I mean, we all know that Immortal isn't exactly the best name for a black metal band out there in the world, but at least it's a good household name, so to speak. But what about when this Immortal becomes a bird? What are we supposed to expect from such a band? Comes with a rather odd cover. Already my daughter was asking, why is this kid on the cover and why there are these items on the stuff? And I said, I really don't know. Now, what you really need to know that this isn't black metal. Maybe you already guessed that, but there are black metal, related items or qualities on this album by this very band, and this album is called Querencia. What the fuck? I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Maybe just read it right here. Querencia. Something like that. So, like I said, here it is from United States, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America since 2013, and we're now with the third album out. And here it is, labeled as black sludge metal and crust on Metal Archives. However, already reports saying wrong musical genre, which I guess is true with the third album. Anyway, now I haven't heard the previous one, so don't get me even started. How does it sound compared to the previous ones? I really don't know. This is my first trip to Immortal Bird's world with the given album that came from $20 Spin peer label taking care of the promos and all. So what do we know about these 35 minutes and so on of an album is that, sure, it does have some sludgy parts, but it's actually quite black metallic overall. It's almost like combination of different styles, or you could alternatively say it's a band that used to play something different, but then moved onward towards black metal even more so than before. No, really can't say if that's a fact. That's just the kind of a vibe I'm getting from this band, because really the black metal parts are sometimes overly dominating of this whole album. Maybe you can call them post-black or modern black metal, but that goes beyond the scope of this review. You know, have those endless genre battles and all. But there are these parts where it just kind of jumps off the black metal wagon and becomes something else. Hence, the sludgier parts are very much present there. But what of course matters more is how can you make the album work like that. Now when you also enter the game with certain death metal patterns, well, it gets complicated, because technically speaking this is of a hybrid. A hybrid that totally fits the extreme metal bill, but is not for everybody. I mean, one of the problems is the production is not really that well suited for all these different subgenres. Basically, there's something wrong fundamentally with the given style. I mean, it's heavy and it's kind of a rusty and also powerful. But what fixes, or like what fits, let's put it this way, what fits death metal and as such maybe sludge better doesn't necessarily make so much sense with the black metal department and vice versa. And here is the knack for this one. You really have to be suited for all these given styles mentioned here in order to really like this. Don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with the music as such. I just find it kind of a hard to like it, because it's almost like you have different set of cuisines, like a different set of dishes, and you just decide to put it all together. Like take a little bit sushi, take a little bit of hamburger, and toss some dessert, like, I don't know, ice cream on it, and so like, yeah, put it in a blender and enjoy. Some people will say, yeah, that sounds fantastic and so exotic. I'm gonna totally enjoy it, digest it, and go off with a smile. And some people are like, oh, that's too disgusting. It's just too many different ingredients that don't really, fit together. But luckily, Immortal Bird is way better than my really silly metaphor here. Putting the really thing back on the map once again and saying, yeah, these are death and black metal items as such don't really feel like they're unfit for one another. Not to mention this sludgy side. It's more like think it as a road with 3 different lanes. So for a while you drive so-called central lane. Then you decide to go a little bit on the left. Maybe you're, I don't know, avoid a car that you're just, gonna pass or something. And then at some point you're also gonna drive on the right lane because for whatever reason. So it's more like you're going back and forth with these different lanes, and for some people it doesn't really bother at all. I mean, it makes in a way a lot of sense. After all, you're still driving to the same direction, not liking making weird U-turns or whatnot. But at the same time, some people are gonna get that motion sickness, for lack of better metaphor here, and say, yeah, it moves too much sideways. Just stick it to your lane and all that stuff. So it depends from which angle or background and musical tastes you're coming from. Certain people will really, really dig deep and like it is a lot because it's not just one trick pony doing all that stuff, repetition. But some people will find, yeah, it's too much. So in a way, I'm really, really in crossroads here. On the other hand, I kind of like it. It's heavy and extreme, and those black metal parts are good, but the death metal parts are more like, more like death metal features are not the strong suits here. And I'm not really that big of a fan of sludge for most style. So for me, it's a little bit something like pineapple on a pizza. I'm gonna just take those pieces of pineapple off my pizza and digest it without them. So take it as you wish. But I think you should give it a go if you're not allergic to all these styles or genres to begin with. So like I said, it's gonna divide people into different camps. That's, I guess, is the least I can say about it. But some really good ideas here and there. So looking forward to hear from the band in the future as well. Who knows where it goes and how much it's going to change over the years and all that stuff. Now we're just past the 10 years mark or beyond, but we'll see how this evolves and changes over time. Now this is what we have. Give it a go or give it not. Links are included in the description box. Off you go.